So, no, banter time, real quick. So, yeah, on my TikTok a long while ago, I had this kind of weird thought because I like having those. That's my calculator. I have these weird kind of like philosophical thoughts a lot of times,
Okay.
which is, it's really fun for me. I think it's just a good distraction. But it was this weird thing that dawned on me that because, as I'm trying to set a timer since we don't have anyone to time us. But we did get a clock. We'll explain that later. But because the idea is that light itself, whenever, okay, so we'll start this way. What's your favorite color? Red, right?
Red.
Red? Favorite color? Blue, right?
Blue.
Man, I know these guys so well. Mine's blue also, just in case anyone wanted to know.
No, it's pink. He's lying to you.
You can
He's
see
ashamed
it
of
everywhere.
He's ashamed of it.
Ashamed.
Don't let him fool you. Don't let him fool you.
I owned one pink shirt, and that was because my friend Ricky just really wanted me to get me to wear Hollister.
It's his most favorite shirt.
No, it's too tight. I hate it. But I told him I wear it it was a ritual. I would wear it at the end of every year. So like the last day of school, every year in high school, Hollister shirt. I hated it. I hated it so much.
That's funny.
But no, so let me set this timer real quick. So I can make sure we see where we are. Stopwatch it. Bam. Okay. So, philosophical thoughts that I have are just kind of things that kind of distract me. So, your favorite color, right? Mm-hmm. Your favorite color is actually, in essence, whatever it is on, it is the prism, like, you know how light's in a prism, even though it's white, it's all the colors.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, anytime that a color that you see is just completely visible to you, is because that is the color of the actual like light patterns that item does not accept. So your favorite color is technically a color that is rejected by an item. You like a rejected color. Congratulations. So yeah, your glasses are blue because your frames take in all the light that comes to it except for the color blue that's in the white light. Science,
okay.
Right?
Okay.
So if a prism of light, if white light is all the colors in one, bouncing off of something to present that color, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Does that mean that if you are looking at something that is a certain color and then turn out the lights, does it retain its color? This is a philosophical question. I don't really think there's a right or wrong answer unless like you're really into like quantum mechanics and stuff. Because now there's an absence of light.
Right.
I guess it still retains its color, but I mean it's dark, so you're not gonna see it.
But the idea of the color is the fact that light's refracting off of it.
It's above my pay grade.
Yeah, that's a tough one there, brother.
a deep question.
That's why I said philosophy's fun. There's not really a wrong or right answer. It's just like, oh shoot, I didn't.
Right.
That's a crazy one there.
Yeah, it really kind of messed with my brain a little bit when I thought about that. I was really just sitting there one day. I was like, huh. And I was like, oh, I hate when I do that. Welcome to the Inword Podcast.
Hello.
I am Ron, aka the Lone Rocketeer. Over here we have Mike.
Real sugar cookies.
And we have Nate.
Also known as Sonatic.
Follow us. It helps. Subscribe to us. It helps. It helps.
It really helps.
It really
yes,
helps.
it does.
But to our 55 subscribers that are currently with us, thank you for staying with us as we are still getting our bearings. Season 2 going pretty strong, and we have news about it. But that's not what we're here for today, because we saw Guardians of the Galaxy
Volume 3.
It was so good.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so even though Guardians wasn't my number one and like kind of like just area in Marvel and the MCU,
right?
Season 3, like Volume 3 kicked ass. It was everything. Like I will tell you, well, like I guess since it's so soon, no spoilers.
It's been out for so here doing like a non-spoiler part, and then so
we can say like, you know, spoiler alert, you know, just kind of give that pause.
So here, give them like your initial thoughts, like you know, like break down summary of like your thoughts of the movie, spoiler free, and then we'll dive into spoilers. After that.
Okay, so initial thoughts. I remember telling you guys this at the end of the movie. there hasn't really been too many movies that get me on the verge of actual tears. Like my eyes will kind of burn a little bit, like who's cutting onions, but like, the tear, there's no streak on the face.
Right.
It was this close. it was close. And the dynamics of having a perfect balance of comedy versus seriousness versus like relief of tension was well balanced within the whole movie. It was good.
Yeah.
And that's what probably drew me in. I that's a movie I definitely want to see again. And I don't usually do that with a lot of movies and shows. I want to see it again.
I'll go see it with you again. Because Jacob said
I'll see it with you again too.
Because Jacob said because I invited him to go see with us, but he was like, "Let me know if you enjoy it," and because he wants to see it. So
okay.
So yeah.
I want to see it. It was
we can do it. We can do it for sure.
Mike,
what's your thoughts?
Well, I just want to let y'all know this was the only Guardians of the Galaxy movie I seen. So,
okay.
For this being my first time watching this movie, it was very funny. I liked the comedy in this movie. It's a lot of it. And I like the action. And as you said, it has its funny moments, its serious moments, and it's an awesome movie.
For me, I think this is in the top. For me, the top 5 Marvel movies.
Okay.
So and when I say that, I exclude I don't count I don't count Infinity Endgame because those are just cheat codes.
Yeah,
those aren't fair.
They're goated.
Right. So removing those, I think this falls in the top 5 all time MCU movies.
Now is that like bottom 5 or is it just like
right now it's probably 3. Right now, like volume 3. It's probably 3. but as of right now, when we see it again, that will obviously help me kind of place it better. It's a phenomenal movie through from beginning to end. There's no wasted second of screen time. Everything has a purpose for it. Nothing felt forced or out of place. All the characters were accurate on all cylinders. How they ended was the ending was perfect, which is hard to do as we've seen with other trilogies. To stick the landing is hard. You can for real. You can come out the gate strong, keep the journey going well, but the ending matters most. If you don't stick that landing, it just tarnishes everything. So the fact that James Gunn was able to complete his trilogy the way he wanted to do it, and it was amazing. Hats off to him. But yeah, this was a great movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Like I said, you will enjoy it. You will cry. You will laugh.
Absolutely.
You'll feel terrified. It's so good. Even if you haven't seen the other 2 Guardians of the Galaxies, here's an example. He hasn't seen them, and he really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's my non-spoilery review of it. As far as not getting.
Okay, and the question becomes, what are the 2 that top it?
I think Winter Soldier is just too good. From a story standpoint, Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Because that one is just too good. And then I would say either the first Iron Man is just so good. I'm saying
it introduced the MCU so well. It was just okay, we need to pull people in. So
it's just so good.
Black Panther.
I have problems with the third act of Black Panther. All the CGI in it. Just for me, I think that ending could have been better in Black Panther. Great movie. Hang on, I love Black Panther. Don't get me wrong, but as far as from a film artiste or tour, that's in my top 10,
right?
But not top 5.
Okay.
Wakanda Forever is up there too for me. Yeah. So you know what? On my channel, I'll do a ranking.
Okay, there it is.
We rank them all because again, remember my problem is when I get asked a question and then my head gets flooded with every single one, so it's hard for me to pick out ones because it all molds together and becomes just one big muck. And so I have to sit down, actually break it down, and look at it.
I get you. That makes sense.
But
okay, so yeah, and I mean, even for me, I would say Guardians is probably also in my top 5. I'm just an adamant fan of Spider-Man, so I would say that probably I think for just like Iron Man had like a really good introduction to MCU, the way they introduced Spider-Man in Homecoming was just everything to me.
Yeah.
Because I think it was just like the way they portrayed Spider-Man being that zany character like he is in the comics, and then having such a phenomenal actor that's there to actually portray this Spider-Man we know and love now. Right. Tom Holland just does wonderful. And then they did really well with the twists. It was just kind of like, they were so subtle but so shocking that I was just like, yeah, I did not see that coming. But they didn't make it a big skeptical of like, oh, there's big things happening. I was just like, oh, by the way, this guy, what?
No. Like, shit.
And so between that and then also, I would want to put Spider-Man No Way Home up there too. Actually, I do.
I wanted to. I just didn't know how that, because I removed Endgame and Infinity War, so I didn't know if that fell into that same category. Kind of in the same category. It's hard. That one's hard because I really loved it. I did. Part of me just wishes there was more interaction between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, like within the movie. Right, yeah.
That was one thing too.
Yeah.
But heartfelt and just everything about it, it still stays in that top. Mike, top 5, what you got?
Top 5? This movie, Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 3. I liked Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange? Boy.
Yeah. See, I forgot that one.
That first one.
See what I'm saying? Like,
that was an awesome movie. Because I like that part when I'm bad with the names.
Okay. Who?
But the
Black
lady,
guy, white guy, white lady.
White lady that.
Oh, Scarlet Witch?
The ancient one?
Yeah, that kind of like.
Was she bald?
Knocked Doctor Strange out of his body.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then he came back. I was like, that was tight. Teach me.
For real.
Teach me. That's a great team.
And then I would say Black Panther.
I feel like we're kind of obligated. I feel like we're kind of obligated. You good?
It's on slow motion.
So yeah. So that's mine.
Okay.
Those 3.
And reluctantly, I gave 3. So
okay.
Just to counter off of that, so I got Guardians, Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man No Way Home, and then of course Black Panther. Probably Wakanda Forever. It has to be, just because I feel like it's just because they're taking a good turn with like how they're trying, like how the MCU is portraying their storytelling.
Right.
That it's just like the newer movies seem to really capture me, and it's not even capturing like, oh, they're better. It's just I remember more from them.
Right.
Okay.
And then I want to put the Multiverse of Madness on there too.
I have to watch that again.
I put that, you know what, I will put it out there just because I like the way that they tried to blend in the idea of having the shows with the movie. For me, it was subtle in a sense of, since I watched the What Ifs, it was, oh shoot, everything that's like coming into play in the last part of the movie.
Okay.
I saw it in the What Ifs. I know why this version of Doctor Strange exists. And of course they explained it to the audience, but it was just like that deeper level of understanding. I know how he came to be because I got to see kind of the backstory.
I gotta watch the What If.
Ooh. Sorry. No, sorry. So my favorites go Winter Soldier, Shang-Chi, and then this one.
Oh shoot, I forgot about Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, boy.
Yeah, I watched that. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Boy.
Are they doing another one of those?
Oh yeah.
He's coming back, yeah. That movie, I was like, this is dope. Like the fight, like the choreography, the fight. Boy. Sorry, continue. I didn't mean
that made sense. Shang-Chi was good. I forgot to.
See, like there's just so many that you forget.
Yeah. Ten Rings bring that urban style to like ancient arts. Oh,
so good. But no, back to Guardians of the Galaxy. So
back to Guardians.
So are we going to spoilers?
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Volume 3 yet, why? But
what are you doing with your life?
But
awesome movie.
It is a good movie. But from here on, it's definitely going to be spoiler territory. So if you don't want to be spoiled on anything,
come back.
Yeah, just come back. Pause it here.
Come on back.
And then we'll give you 5 seconds to rethink your decision. So hang on. There it is. All right.
If you're here, oh well.
Yeah, you should have paused. All right. So, still, okay. Starting off with Volume 3. Favorite Guardian?
Rocket.
I've
been a fan of Rocket since the first one. Just because I always liked his attitude. Like I like characters who have like a chip on their shoulder, and so like from the first movie, he's always like he just had that, and so in a weird way connected with that. I don't know why, but because I don't act like that.
Well, it's probably because more of the idea of like we saw him carry that trauma from each like movie,
right.
But it wasn't the forefront. But just like every other character in the movie, the audience was sitting there going, "I really want to know what happened to this guy.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to Rocket?
Yeah.
What made him like? Who is he, and why does he keep saying he's not a raccoon?"
Right. Yeah. So for me, it's always been Rocket.
Okay.
Who's your favorite, Mike? Granted, you only have one movie under your belt, but hey,
Still exposure. Also, I played the game. That Guardians of the Galaxy has a game. I just want to let y'all know that.
Right.
But I kind of have two favorites.
Okay, who you got?
I like Drax and I like Groot.
Okay.
If we were playing D&D, Mike would definitely be like the tank.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
He'd be the barbarian. But I think okay, so for me, before I get to everything in that one, for me, still Mantis. Mantis has my heart. It's definitely not because of the Asian physique. Shut up. Shut up.
Hey, real quick, look at his shirt.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Ron, stand up. Please, Ron, for the audience.
I wanted to wear a good fit.
So we can see it.
All right.
And it's not for the Asian persuasion. I rest my case.
It's Inuyasha. I said I had a fit for every episode. I chose Inuyasha. Whatever.
Mantis is dope.
Yeah, she
I like
is.
Mantis. She's cool.
And especially like in this one, the reason I liked it so much because the way she was introduced in the second one was just heavy hitting. But now seeing that she actually got to interact more and have more of a personality throughout the movie, and you get to see how she actually feels about things and not so much things about like and not just sitting in the back and just kind of like, yeah, okay, I don't really like that. She got so expressive throughout the whole movie, just more and more. And also, we all thought it. Why did they do that to her stunt double?
Yeah, boy. He just kept landing on the neck.
I yelled it out like mid viewing. I was like, if I'm her stunt woman, I'm cussing somebody out because I'm not falling on my neck 3 times and this.
And each fall kept getting higher.
But the last one was the worst one because she was like really on the neck, boy.
I'm like, that had to snipe the spine.
Right, but also what made it worse was also it was higher, but like Drax and Nebula, they felt like on their feet or their back, and then Mantis like, she's like.
So do you think they used like a person to do that, or you think they used like a dummy or something? Because I'm like, if you were the stunt double,
stunt doubles are really good,
and you landed on your neck like that.
Yeah, stunt doubles know how to fall, man.
They know how to do it. Yeah.
Maybe it might not have been the same one for each shot.
Okay.
But every time he's like, damn,
like Jesus, like God.
It was a good running gag though, but I was like, oh my girl, man.
It really was. So what do you guys think of the new quote unquote? Because he is a Guardian now. Adam Warlock.
He was funny. I mean, he was basically like acting like a child or something.
And that was the point. Like he was taken out of his cocoon too soon, so he was technically a child.
Right.
So is he supposed to be a child or like a teenager or something?
He is. So okay, the Sovereign, which is like their race, is like they are a specimen designed, right? So they're created, and as we find out, they're created by the High Evolutionary, the villain of this movie, and so they are a higher species. Like their skin is like durable, like they're not impenetrable, but like they're very much they're close to invincible. Like they're just very powerful.
Okay.
And so Adam Warlock, and I've heard criticism about him, his character, because they're like, that's not Adam Warlock.
Right.
He was stupid. You know, like you said, he was a child. He was childlike. I'm like, well, one, they explained it.
Right.
Like, they literally said, like, there's a whole scene about it where he's like, hey, he was like, you know, what's wrong with him? And she's like, you took him out of the cocoon early. Like, that's what happened. Like,
he's a preemie baby.
Right. So that one explains it. And then I heard, because someone was like, well, when Vision was created, Vision was also a child. I'm like, yeah, but Vision had Ultron, he had Jarvis, like he had sentient beings in like that were like have been around for some time.
And I mean, Vision was an AI also, so it's just like
that's apples and oranges. So I'm like, no, but he's still a creature of some sort, but like he's still trying to learn everything. So it makes sense that he's not that. But
no, you're good. But like it also does well, in my opinion, of saying that tone that the MCU is just that, the MCU.
Right.
It is its own universe, has its own way of doing things. And like piggybacking off the thing about you're talking about critique, I remember at the end of Volume 2, when they hyped up the fact that Adam was coming, and then they realized, I don't know when, like how they were talking about it, but it was the idea that, hey, Adam is supposed to be like, Adam Warlock is supposed to be this antagonist that's like the big bad for the Guardians, like that, and everyone was so hyped for it. And then he comes out and he's just like, no, he's still really strong. He's just dumb strong.
Right. And hang on, remember, the Guardians go on this whole story because he shows up and, I'm not gonna say it, and wreck shop. Like, remember, he's the reason Rocket gets hurt, and then that sends him on everything else. Like he to me, he still lived up to his like.
Bro
his
ran
power.
up on them, like.
Go ahead.
So, I was gonna say, what was the reason why he was coming after Rocket?
So, because back in Volume 2, Volume 2, that movie starts with them like stealing the batteries from the Sovereign, and so his mom, Adam Warlock's mom, was pissed off at them for that, and so she's trying to get them back for all that. And then, as you find out, the High Evolutionary hired her to use Adam to get the Rocket back.
Yeah, he was being a repo man.
Right, exactly, right. But another thing with Adam, again, I thought he was great. I love Adam Warlock in this movie. But I heard this the other day, and it made sense.
Okay.
Because like you said, he was definitely hyped up in Volume 2 of like, oh, Adam Warlock's coming. Because again, in the comics, he was one who fought Thanos like 1v1. Like, he's one who wielded the Infinity Stones like himself. Ooh. Like, he's a bad dude in the comics. And he's still a bad dude in the movie. Yeah. But I think, and I heard this and I agree with it. They learned from Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel, even though it made $1 billion, people still hate that movie. The biggest criticism for Captain Marvel is that she's too OP, right? Like because she's just too powerful. Like she's too like so it's hard to like connect with her. And so I think what they're doing with Adam is they're saying, okay, let's not start with him being like
so strong.
Yeah, let's make him evolve. Like, let's start off as a child, which makes sense story wise, and then let him build over a decade. And now in a decade, when he does something dope in Avengers 18, you're like, yeah, you earned it. Hang on, for example, the one scene every MCU, I'm getting goosebumps. Every MCU fan loves and thinks about, and is like, that was the best moment in MCU history. Captain America wielding Mjolnir, right? If he did it in Age of Ultron, it would still have been dope, but like, again, you didn't earn it. Hang on, we were Captain America for what, 15 years, right? Mm-hmm. And then when Endgame,
15 years, good lord,
right? Because Captain America came out in 2009.
Oh my god,
2009, I would say, 8. And so Endgame came out in 2009, so we'll say 11 years. Sorry, 11, but still a decade. You were with Captain America, and now you get that moment of him picking up Mjolnir, right? Yeah, it's worth it. The whole crowd erupts. Yeah. So I think that's what they're doing with Adam Warlock. Okay. So people, give it time. It's okay. I promise. It's okay.
And it's one of those things too. It's nice to see that he does have a softer side. Yeah. Because even though he is strong, to me, other than like being an antagonist, he was the first time I saw an antagonistic comic relief. Yeah. And also a badass at the same time. It was so weird. Because there were 2 moments where he would walk in and was like, oh shit, he's there. And he just fall over.
So for real. Captain America, first movie, it came out in 2011.
2011. All right.
So 2011, and then Endgame came out in 2019, so 8 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we got to grow with them. And it's really interesting because now it's the direction of like, how are they going to go with this now that Adam is a Guardian? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But to kind of sidebar with that too, let's talk Rocket, because this was his moment. This was all about Rocket, even though it wasn't probably till the end. It was all about Rocket.
Right. But remember, it was a line in the movie where she was like, This has always been your story, Rocket. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, that's so cool. We'll continue. Sorry.
No, that's true. Because man, scares just straight out of the gate. Yeah, this is gonna be Rocket's origin story. All right, cool. Coma. What? Yeah,
I thought, wait a minute, huh? I thought he was gonna die.
We all did. Yeah, it happened so quick. Like we were talking about in the Star Wars, just like Qui-Gon getting ran up on, right? Freaking Darth Maul. Same thing with Adam with these people. They're minding their own business. Quill's over here sulking because he's so sad he can't get with Gamora again. And all of a sudden, just like, what is that? boom. It's just like, oh God, Rocket! Rocket hit that wall, my chest.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
And then like to set that tone of trauma, like traumatic experience for all of them. When Quill tried to like revive Rocket, and then Nebula's like, take that off him because you're hurting him more.
Right.
That was scary.
Oh my God.
But then I did like the frame story that it was setting in tandem with all the stuff they were doing. So you got that essence of this is happening in the now, and this is what Rocket's remembering. So technically, while the Guardians didn't really get his backstory, they still were connected to it because they finally got that file to see the experiments they were doing on him. Mm-hmm. But then you also got to see it from Rocket's point of view about how he had this exponential growth as essentially almost a sentient being for himself.
Yep.
And then just getting crushed. And like, I remember telling you two at the end of it, because it was a tragedy. Rocket's whole thing is a tragedy. Mm-hmm. The bunny. I was like, nah, Bunny's not going to make it. Bunny's too happy.
Right.
Bunny too happy.
Right.
Happy people like that don't make it. Too hopeful. Not in this one.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Rocket's story is tough, man. Like, also, if you're going to see it with kids, like, just tread carefully.
Yeah, so this little bit of a disclaimer for the movie. A lot of animal abuse.
Yeah, like yeah.
A lot. And it's not it's on the verge of mutilation, on the cusp, because you don't really see it happening, but you see the after effects of it. And then also we gotta talk about it too, because I mean, this guy being able to manipulate gravity, do all the shit that he can, and like, you know, wrecking people, killed his whole team with like just one yell.
That is true.
Pulls out a freaking musket-tool to kill the animals. Like, man could have crushed them. Could have crushed them under the gravity.
Gotcha. You vermin.
Like, for real. He's just an exterminator. I'm like, oh my God.
That was one of my
guy
nitpicks.
he was cruel.
Still a great movie, but still, that was one, I was like, that's weird. You a pea shooter?
He's like, where'd you get that from? You never used a gun until now like that. You have all these futuristic weapons?
Right. Yeah, no, yeah. But so, like, one thing I love about this movie was the exploration of like self-acceptance. Like, because again, Rocket from Volume 1 has always been, I'm not a raccoon. I'm not a raccoon. I'm not, stop calling me that. I'm not this. I'm not that.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when he's in like pet heaven and they're like, and he's like, he still says, I'm not a raccoon. Like on the verge of death. Like he's like, I'm still not a raccoon.
Oh, straight to hell.
Yeah. And then his girlfriend was like, you know, because he's like, can I come? And she's like, yeah, but not yet. And then he goes back, and then he sheds that last bit of who he was,
the denial of himself,
right? And now at the end, he finally says, I'm Rocket Raccoon, and you're like, let's go,
yeah,
let's go.
I'm Rocket Raccoon. It's like, yeah, what's the end of the movie? Yeah,
yes, you are Rocket. Let's go.
That's what's up.
But yeah, but like this movie is like really deep. Like just how Black Panther was deep. Like on with grief. This movie is like about trauma, about acceptance of yourself, about like relationships, about the whole Gamora and Star-Lord side of things. Like that's deep. Like
also hilarious.
Okay, 100%.
She was so mean.
But hang on. But like think about it. Like so okay. It's exploring relationships in the sense of like you're not who you once were in that relationship.
Right.
So it's exploring of like just think about it. I'm sure you both have seen couples who start out dating and they evolve in that relationship, and so one person is like, you're not who you used to be, and the person's like, I'm not the person anymore, and they're trying to stay together, but it's only causing friction, and like they had at some point they have to realize this is just toxic, it's not good for us, and that's what this story was about. Like I was like, this is really well done. Like to explore that in a superhero movie, and
then also seeing how like Quill was just like so heartbroken that like he was a sick puppy at that point. Yeah, because that's why they're just like, yeah, you need to get over, and they're just like, you're kind of wanting someone more like Nebula. She's like, don't look at me like that.
What are you
doing? He's like, I just never noticed how black your eyes were.
She was like, my father. She took my eyes out, and he's like, well, he picked a good set.
That's true.
The comedy in this movie is phenomenal.
It's good.
It's so good. Yes. Like one thing I constantly think of, and it's so quick. Like if you cough, you miss it. Mm-hmm. But it's like midway through the movie. It's like towards the end. But Adam has he has that pet thing, that new
the
animal.
little pet.
And so him and Gamora are fighting, and so Gamora grabs the animal, and she's like, "Come here closer!" And this little ugly thing gets it. And he's like, "No, it's so quick." He says, "Don't be rash." Like, don't be rash. Bro, I died laughing. Like, but get to your point of like an antagonist who is still comedic relief. Like you don't really see that often, and so like that's cool.
That was so good for Adam's character.
Yeah. Don't be rash. It was so good.
Adam, show him we mean business. Okay. Kill him. I didn't say kill him. Well, what other business do you want me to show him?
It's so good. Like I like I said, again, art is subjective. And so I understand that. So like if someone doesn't like it, okay. But I guess I saw a different movie. I don't know because
you went to it for the movie itself. That's the thing, because you already mentioned that like when you watch movies, you don't go in with an expectation of trying to compare it.
Yeah.
So that's why you probably get more enjoyment out of it, which is why we talked about this before. Rotten Tomatoes has one score, the audience has the other.
Right.
Now I feel like it won't do justice unless we talk about this part, because Nate, you mentioned it being the cinematic kind of tech person you are. The fight scene in the hallway,
bro.
Explain. Like what was that?
Was it? That was probably one of the top 2 best fight scenes ever in the MCU. Again, excluding Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, like those movies, because again, that's not fair.
Right.
But any solo like outing for the MCU, that was one. I think that was in the top 2 best fight scenes ever created. One from a choreography standpoint, right? So I'm sure you know this, and you probably don't know this too, or you see it and don't even know you see it. And fight scenes when it's a big group, right? 1 verse 20 or like or 5 verse 100, right? There's always that issue if you look in the background of the
wait my turn till the camera's on me.
Is that right? So that's always something like these movies deal with. This was again, it's a hallway, like not a big freight, a big room, not a big a big ship. It's a hallway. So that in itself is hard. Okay. But now you add it's a oneer, which means there's no cuts.
That was interesting.
There's no cut. So when we see it again, watch. There's not a single cut in it. It's all flowing through everything to the end for like 5 minutes.
And then the camera does that turn to get back in the hallway.
Okay, another feat in itself. That's hard too. But then choreography wise, there's none of that. There's like looking back, there's nobody like waiting to like do their thing. It's all thought out. It's all thought out strategically, character wise. Like every character gets their moment. Like. Think about it. Every single character got a moment in that hallway that made sense. That wasn't like that was weird. Like hang on, remember one of the funny parts when the guy gets hit in the butt and he's like, "Oh!"
I was like, "Oh man, I thought it was gonna explode." I'm like, "Oh man, I'm sorry." We need Taco Bell,
right? But like, so on all those fronts, and then also just from a story standpoint, with the music choice of "No Sleep Till Brooklyn," like you're like, what? This is like
especially because the lead up was so good,
so dope.
Because McGowan's like, "We need to leave." Like, nah. Rocket's like, "This is personal." I was like, "Yeah."
Because he says the line that I love. He was like, "I'm tired of running." And like we doing this shit right now. I'm like, bro, let's go. So he starts walking slowly, and then Star was like, all right, let's go.
All the ride or dies are just like, we in here.
Like, we riding.
It has a good soundtrack.
Yeah, bro. And so that hallway scene is amazing. Like, and I've only heard, like, no one has said anything bad about that scene. Like, everyone agrees that scene is director gold. Like, it's just amazing. So that's my take on it. Like I said,
it was good. Like, and a lot of the dynamics of them fighting and like being able to assist each other was also just amazing. The minute that Rocket started running on Groot's branches, I'm like,
it's so, oh my God, man. I gotta see this movie again.
I want to talk about that part where Phil was like, it was disgusting.
Oh, no.
That weird
that was
creature.
So sad.
That was the only time you seen that creature in the movie, man. I don't know what that was.
Kill the carrot looking thing. It's just disgusting looking.
I wish Phil was here because that theater experience with him, like, now mind you, okay,
I was sitting next to him.
There's 8 of us. There's like 7 of us in in the theater. He was at the very end, and I could still hear, like, when that part came up with this creature, and you guys know the creature we're talking about. He's in it for one scene.
You'll see him
for one scene.
You don't see him nowhere else.
Nowhere else. One scene with Mantis, and all I heard was like it was faint, but I heard it enough, and I just started laughing. All you hear is, "That's disgusting. That's just gross."
I was sitting right next to him.
He said, "There's no reason for that to be in the scene." He said, "There's no reason for the scene."
I don't even think you've seen it at the end.
No, when they're all jumping. No, that's it.
It's for the bit.
He didn't make it
Because and that gave that extra demands of like she's not all like.
That's not. That's the character. That's literally the character. That's literally, he like shakes. It's like yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
When you see.
Another funny part to me in the movie was when the animals was coming and that lady was like, "Ooh, look at all of that."
Bro, she didn't deserve that.
And then that monkey just jumped on that, started
she
scratching
didn't
her
deserve
face.
that.
She
was looking at a majestic picture. She was just like, man, I don't know who Noah is, but this must be what it's like when you get off the ark. that monkey said, I got issues with you personally.
Yeah.
Never met you in my life. I just don't like you.
For whatever reason, I don't like you.
It was on site. Bring it to a close on that, though. Mm-hmm. I will say, even though it was really short, I feel like it was a really good idea, experience, and choreography for the last kind of, and you can't even call it a fight, because when all the Guardians went in and just teamed up on dude and just
the ending fight.
It was because I'm just like I don't even count that as a fight because the minute that Rocket was just kind of like you got me psych.
No, you don't.
He's like boy was Batman. He's just like I've been preparing for this my whole life.
Like I've been ready, bro.
And he didn't, and like there was no cue at all about the other Guardians coming in like that,
right? And
it just happened.
Yep.
And it was just like it was.
I don't know though. I feel like that. The bad guy died easy though,
But remember that was the thing we were telling you. He wasn't technically a big bad, so you can't put him on the level like Thanos or like anyone like even Kang. You can't put him on that level.
Yeah. God, no, not Kang.
All he is he was more of a mental antagonist than he was a physical one. Okay. So while he had his superpowers like an enemy would to like any hero you would see in the MCU, any comic book, he wasn't that significant in the grand scheme of things, but he was significant to the one character that the movie was about.
Okay.
And that's what made him so menacing. He wasn't that strong.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's very accurate. Because like the threat wasn't his. I wouldn't say his strength or power. It was his hold over Rocket theoretically 3 movies.
Right.
That's why Rocket's who he is, because he like said his anger and his hatred towards the High Evolutionary. And so yeah, but also to his point of like, I think it was you watch wrestling. It was the writers were putting the high evolutionary. They're making him take a dive in a sense of because it was he was I was scared for a second because he was dusting Rocket like Rocket was getting literally like just thrown everywhere, and I was like, oh God, please don't lose that. And then he said and he's like
can't do that to me no more.
And so I think it was one also to show Rocket's intellect because that's his superpower is his intellect and so all that stuff. But yeah, but I can get why you would say that, but I think like I said, I think that it was more of a mental villain and more of like that trauma aspect of the villain rather than like fist bang bang.
Right.
And Mantis was she like the one that calmed Drax down?
Mantis did a lot.
So yeah, she did a lot. When?
Yeah, what part
or like as a character, or what do you mean?
Just as a character.
So it was the fact they had such a dynamic. Basically, think of Drax and Mantis as best friends.
Yes,
they are the best friends in the series. That's why Drax was starting to cry when she left. Mm-hmm. That was the whole point.
Spoiler alert! I'm just kidding.
This whole second part, yeah, that's the spoiler. Everything else could have happened. And that was the whole thing because like when you found out who Drax is as a person, because even though this was Rocket's story, Drax had wonderful character development throughout this whole thing.
Yes,
you discovered a lot about this man. Yeah. It was because Mantis was so close to him and dealt with his shenanigans when everyone else was kind of just like Drax, stop. Mm-hmm. That's what gave him that dynamic. It was literally even though Mantis isn't full brains because let's just like in Infinity War. Who are you guys? Oh, we kick names and take ass. Okay, not an intellect, but that's okay, Mantis. You're trying, girl. But they had that dynamic of where they were really close to each other, and that's why they're playing off it. She wanted to help him out. He wanted to help her out. And even then, Mantis had to lie to him sometimes because she was like, I never manipulate my friend's emotions. Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Because we saw it. You think I'm dumb?
Yep.
Forget.
Forget I said that.
But then, like I said, Drax had that one powerful moment talking to Nebula because Nebula was just always blowing up on him like through most of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Why didn't you tell us you could speak their language? Why didn't you ask?" It's just like, ooh.
Don't assume.
Good question.
Yeah.
So question. I told this to Elle on the way home from the movie. I said, going into it, because obviously they were selling it as the last ride, which it is the last ride. It's gonna be emotional. Like someone's not making it out, right? So going into it, I was like, I'm gonna be pretty upset if no one dies. But my mind was changed after watching the movie. My mindset was changed on it because I thought everyone ended, like I said, everyone had a perfect bow tie on their ending, like everyone did. Like, so I was gonna ask, were you disappointed that no one died?
No.
Okay.
No, because I thought Drax was gonna die. I really did.
Man took a lot of hits.
He did, but I was like, when the end of the movie, I was like, oh, okay. Now I like how they ended it. Because it's a possible, I don't know if it's happening, but they could come back if they want to.
Well, and that was the thing too, because think about it, with us, we don't get that insider knowledge about contracts. Nate looking at like how like contracts are going to end, he's just like, oh, this person's probably going to die because their contract's ending.
Right.
So that outside like meta knowledge kind of predicted like, hey, I think Tony Stark's not going to make it out of Endgame. What? Yeah.
But it was like with this movie, we knew that this was Drax's last
and that was
movie.
the thing.
So I thought since this was going to be his last movie, and other movies, they usually kill the person off.
Right, exactly.
So, but I liked how they ended it.
Although they did, and that was the other thing that was really good about the directing of this. They didn't give you that, what do you call it? It's not like a false, I'll call it a false scare. Mm-hmm. So within the MCU, there have been, especially like before Civil War, right? Mm-hmm. You would have these teasers of a hero being almost like getting on the verge of death. But then every kind of like hero movie, kind of like legend, it's just like, oh, the hero's down, it looks like he's gonna die, and then he comes back powerful more than ever, right? Mm-hmm. This one did really well with Quill, because you didn't see it coming when he went back for the Zune.
Oh right, yeah.
And then tried to make the jump, and like it wasn't like, even during that moment, he was so smooth with everything he was doing. He's like, oh yeah, he's got it. He planned this out,
right?
And then the minute he jumped, just like, oh dang, gotten it close. That's crazy, and boom. Boop. Wait, what? Ooh, huh? He was like, oh, crap.
Hey, I was mad at Adam Warlock, man. This whole time, he know how to fly. You don't go get the man, you know he can't.
I mean, he did.
He ain't gonna survive.
He wouldn't get him.
At the end, when he...
But did he get him? Hang on. But did he die?
No, he didn't. But still, then he gonna do the little ET thing.
No, it was Adam talking to God. Just
it's
the touch of God.
That was came and got the man before he even did all of that.
I tell you can't say nobody right no more. I'm just kidding.
But that was a funny moment in the movie too.
So overall experience with Guardians of the Galaxy, what would you rate it out of 10?
I'll give it a 9.
9?
9.2.
It's up there for me too. I'd say 9. Everything has a spot to be better. Everything has a spot to be worse. It's still ranked pretty damn high.
Yeah, because I personally don't believe in perfect movies. Like 10 out of 10. Like I've never seen a 10 out of 10 movie. I like my experience can be like in game 10 out of 10 experience. Mm-hmm. There's flaws in it. Like so. I don't think I've ever given a 10 out of 10 to any movie before.
Okay.
But no, I'm the same way. I feel like there's always something.
Yeah.
But I mean, from my perspective, like you get to do the analyzation for directing, like how the cameras are done, effects, everything. Soundtrack for me, amazing. Lighting at the starting, not so great. This is just for us. When the movie started, the theater had problems turning out the
I ain't never seen that before, boy. That person need to be fired.
Yeah, Cinemark. Yeah, I don't know what happened, bro.
I thought we was gonna watch the whole movie like that, because I was sure gonna be like, man, we gonna get our money back for that.
Bro, it was stupid.
Feel like sure when the lights finally went out.
Like 10 minutes into it, That was that was.
And then when we left, the lights didn't come on at all.
That's right. The lights didn't come back on.
I'm like, bro.
So we should have failed. Somebody should have failed.
I told you. I said my fault. We can sue. Mike was like, "No, I'm good. I'm all right."
I thought about it when I got to the last step. I was gonna do it, but then I was like, nah.
My ankle.
But overall, Guardians of the Galaxy, wonderful movie. You got to see it. As all you Marvel fanatics know, you got to stay till the end, but also you got to stay till the end.
Yeah, there are two.
There are two in this one. That's what you get for sitting through the spoilers. You get to know there are two endings also.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that that's a good place to wrap it up today.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are starting a new dynamic. I don't have any flashing lights. That's fine. I can edit it. It's fine. No fireworks or something. Oh, yeah, that's right. They can show me the special effects for fireworks. Basically, so again, this is the sidebar for all you viewers of the Inword Podcast. We have been going 10 episodes strong now, which is insane to me. It's really good.
What's the statistic? It's like only like a very small amount actually like put out more than 3 podcasts.
That's
like
true.
Episodes.
Wow, that's insane.
I'm sorry, that was a bad point. But,
I like it. We're gonna stick with it.
I just can't remember the exact number, and I don't want to do it wrong. But it's like a large percent of people who try to do a podcast. A lot of them only the most episodes they get out is 3.
3, okay.
And they stop after 3.
So we've been going strong. You've been here with us through the ups, the downs, the slopes, the ups again, into the plateaus, and then the ups. You've been through this ride with us. And so basically what we're trying to do is, even though we're on season 2, we're still trying to grasp the idea about what we really want to do to kind of hone in and give you guys the best kind of entertainment we can. So that being said, Nate, being the analyst of everything that we have seen on the backside, helping out with that.
The analyst. That'd be a good name. Sorry, continue.
So with him doing all of that, he was able to give us foresight about like what we could probably kind of do to help tweak the viewing experience, the listening experience, and the overall experience that we can bring to you as the Inword Podcast. Kind of Inword Podcast. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep things more, not center focus, I would say, but more congruent of showing you what we're doing for the day. So today, we were proud to introduce the first segment of Let's Talk. Mm-hmm. And this is Let's Talk Guardians V3. What we're going to end up doing is implementing a lot of stuff to kind of keep this kind of train going. And that means we're going to have 2 other categories, which are Let's Play and then as well as Let's Watch. Because I am very excited for both of those because I don't want to watch horror movies, but it's going to be...
It's going to be all right, y'all. We can do it.
I hate it so much.
You can do it.
But in order to kind of keep things kind of nice flowing and going, we're still going to do the bi-weekly to kind of help with all this other stuff that we're doing. Because as you know, Nate does his own thing, Mike's getting ready to do his own thing, and I do my own thing as well. And the idea is to be able to incorporate the Inward Podcast to kind of branch out and let you see what we do on the site as well to help make you enjoy us as a group and as individuals. So that's why I'm also happy that when we do the Let's Play, Mike, we are definitely going to use your Twitch to do that because that is the best way to get the streaming going and also to get the video gameplay on without having any kind of hitch.
That's true.
So I was going to ask this because how? Yeah, because we don't computer out here. So it's going to be on the Xbox or like we plug it in there?
We could use projector. But no. So also with streaming like that, we can have one camera set on us, and then the screen will record itself. So it'll be a dual kind of thing.
Right. I just mean like
how will we watch him play?
Well, no, but because how will we stream it? Like stream it because don't you need a computer or something to stream it on
or a camera?
But what does the camera connect to? Like you can just connect from a camera to like you need
the camera would be connected to the PlayStation Pro.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what I was asking. I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean we could probably buy a tarp, put it up here. And then, like, as long as he has something to hook up the PS4 to, you can be right out here. Or I'm sorry, PS5. I'm sorry,
PS5,
you're living lavishly. I'm sorry, money bags. No. PS5 got 2 of them, right?
Okay, you didn't have to put that one out
there. I'm just trying to get like you.
Hey man,
I'm broke.
We gonna get you there.
But also, we should do like bring back couch party games.
Absolutely,
like Halo, like. or like COD, like
They get to see the screen peeper stopper.
Oh,
we
okay.
play like on the same screen.
I got you.
And then it's going to give us the idea of like being able to interact with you guys. So yeah, and board games. Absolutely board games. I'm trying to ruin lives. We're going to play Uno.
All the above, man.
But in order to get the best out of it, we do want your suggestions and stuff. So of course, if you haven't yet, welcome. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell so you get the notifications. It'll help out tremendously. And I promise you won't want to miss it. But we also, like I said, we'll take suggestions of things of like what you guys want to hear, what you want us to play, what you want us to watch. Of course, we would have to review the things that you want us to play and watch because adult material does exist.
Right.
And we can't necessarily do those. Anyways. Basically, thank you for joining us for episode 10. Nate?
Do you want to tell them about the other thing too?
Wheel of Opportunity.
No, what did you say?
I don't know. I said Wheel of Opportunity. I don't know.
No, the Fibros.
Oh, the Fibros. That's you. You got it.
Oh, my bad. No. So in addition to that, like I said, we're just trying to give you a whole bunch of content out here, obviously. But so just so you guys can get a little outside perspective of us as well and our lives and who we are as people off the couch. You know, obviously we're entertaining here, obviously, but you can get a sense of us in the in the quote unquote real world.
Yep.
Yeah.
But basically we're gonna have a YouTube channel called The Fibros, and basically what it is
It's scary.
it's gonna be me, us three, and Phil doing different challenges. Challenges that basically make us defy stereotypes of the things black people don't do. So, for example, black people don't swim, right? Mike doesn't know how to swim.
I don't know how to
Teach Mike
swim.
how to swim.
Mike's not like how to swim.
I'm like a rock, baby.
Black people don't camp. Black people don't hike. Don't
Walk barefooted outside.
yeah,
we definitely
There's a lot of
don't
things
do
that we are considered not capable of doing, and so this channel is going to be us trying to defy those things
I
and having fun doing it too.
I still hate it so much.
Trust me, I promise you guys are gonna laugh. I promise you that. But it's just to give you guys more content, to give you guys more us.
When this is done, I'm gonna say something.
Say it now. What you scared of?
You gonna hold a spider?
Oh,
I said yes. I said I would.
I like that one.
I said I would.
You
yes.
gonna hold a
I
spider?
don't want to, but I will do it for the content.
Even if he's not conscious while he's doing it, I mean, I guess.
I will do it. I may pass out. It's good content.
That is terrifying even for me.
Yeah, I'll do it.
God.
Yeah, like I said, there's a whole bunch of things on there. Swim in the ocean, swim in the lake.
I have been to the ocean, but not far out. I am still nervous about stepping on an urchin, though. That
Wear sea shoes.
sea shoes.
I do every time. In the ocean, nah, brother. I don't. But no. So yeah, that'll be coming here actually very, very, very soon. So stay on the lookout.
Yeah, stay on the lookout. Like I said, subscribe. Nate, where can they find you?
You can find me at Sonatic on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, where I talk about movies and movie news and reviews and trailer reactions, all that fun stuff.
Get to dive deep into that. Why your top 5 or your top 5 and how you think about it. All right,
Like that.
Mike, what about you?
All right, you'll be able to find me on
These nuts.
Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Videos
He kept strong.
coming
He
soon.
kept strong on these nuts.
That one got him.
You got me, man. You got me. But yeah,
All right, and then you can find me on Instagram, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere that you can stream music, anywhere that you have social media. And also, as far as the podcast goes, we love that you watch us on YouTube because you can see all of our wonderful faces. But we also are on Spotify and Apple. Was it Apple Podcasts? I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know the name of it.
Apple Podcast, yeah.
Yeah, he's the iPhone in the group.
iHeartRadio too.
iHeartRadio also. We are on a few things.
You're
but
on like 8 things.
and I'm the one who manages the audio promotion stuff.
It's Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, like one of those like Apple like just like a podcast sites.
I think Jay-Z has one too that we're on also.
Yeah, we're on a lot of them.
Links will be below, so you'll see them.
Okay.
Blue. But that was the episode for today. Any last things you guys want to say to our viewers?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Tell
We
your friends
appreciate
about
you.
us.
Yeah,
Tell your
sure.
family members about us. Tell your dog about us. I don't know why your dog has a computer, but they have an Instagram page, so evidently they know how to use the internet.
That too. When you see Guardians of the Galaxy, let us know what you thought. If you
Absolutely, please.
And play the game too.
What you said?
Yeah, that's a good one.
What he said?
And on the next episode, you'll see a wonderful addition that we're adding to the podcast, and it'll help us kind of keep things very, very random. Until next time, everybody, this has been the Inword Podcast.
Fireball.